Hi everyone, welcome to the Beneski Museum of Natural History. My name is Alexia and today I want to show you one of my favorite exhibits. Behind me there is a display case full of hominid skulls. Now, do not fret, these are not real. All of them are casts or almost perfect replicas of specimens that have their homes in museums such as the Natural History Museum in London or the Smithsonian. The Hominidae are a family of primates with 8 living species in 4 different genera. Pongo, represented by orangutans, gorilla, by gorillas, Pan, which contains the chimpanzee and the bonobo, and Homo, out of which only modern humans remain. The Homo branch, which contains us, the Homo sapiens, and our extinct relatives, has been evolving independently from African apes starting from 5 to 7 million years ago. This process involved the gradual development of traits such as human bipedalism and language, as well as interbreeding with other hominins, which indicates that human evolution was not linear, but a web. Remember, the term hominids and hominins are very different. Hominids refers to the group consisting of all modern and extinct great apes, while hominins refers to the group consisting of modern humans, extinct human species such as the Homo erectus, and all our immediate ancestors, including members of the genre Homo, Australopithecus, Paranthropus, and Ardipithecus. Hominins differ from apes in 3 important ways. We have smaller front teeth, incisors and canines, and larger back teeth, or molars. We also walk on 2 legs, we are bipedal, and we have slightly larger and more complex brains. Let's talk about posture for a second. On the bottom of your skull, centrally positioned under the brain case, there is a distinctive hold called the Foramen Magnum, which means large opening in Latin. It is situated in the occipital bone around the base of the brainstem, and through it, critical soft tissues and the spinal cord connect to the brain. This hole is incredibly important in the ongoing investigation into when exactly the human lineage split from those of other apes. It's believed it might indicate when the upright bipedal posture evolved in our ancestors, which is considered to be the hallmark of humanity. Bipedalism, although not the fastest nor most effective form of movement, has other advantages, such as freeing hominins' arms, enabling them to make and use tools efficiently, look over tall grass in the savannas, and use their hands for communication. In most quadrupedal mammals, the foramen magnum is located further toward the back of the skull, so posteriorly positioned. This 100,000-year-old cave bear specimen is the perfect example, as we can see the connection between the spine and the opening is almost parallel with the ground. It's the same for this orangutan skeleton, where the foramen magnum is placed toward the posterior, making the skull hang on the vertebral column. This is how it would look like if it was in its normal position. However, it's not the same for all apes. Let's look for a moment at the skull cast of a bonobo, also called a pygmy chimpanzee, a species more closely related to humans than gorillas or orangutans. Their movements include knuckle walking, arm swinging, and some form of bipedalism. This is because their foramen magnum is more centrally positioned than that of other apes, but they also have longer feet and thigh bones. Not everyone agrees on the importance of the foramen magnum, and the debate over its influence on bipedalism has been going on for the past 100 years. In 1924, Austrian paleoanthropologist Raymond Dart discovered the first fossil of Australopithecus africanus, an extinct hominin closely related to humans. Dart used the anterior position of the foramen magnum of the specimen to argue that the tongue child represented an early human. Let's look at our own cast of an Australopithecus africanus skull. You are now facing Mrs. Pless, a hominin who lived 2.5 million years ago in Sterkfontein, South Africa. As you can see, the foramen magnum is located on the underside of the skull, indicating the bipedal position of the specimen. However, just like apes, they had smaller brains, revealing that the upright movement had developed before any important growth spurt in brain size. There is so much we don't know about our past, but every day we keep learning something else. In order to discover new horizons, research is based on laws and theories. In science, laws are descriptions of true, absolute, and unchanging observable phenomena, often expressed in empirical terms. For example, it is said that all living organisms arose in an evolutionary process. Theories, conversely, refer to inferred explanations that have been widely accepted by the scientific community. Laws and theories are importantly distinct from one another and are not interchangeable. They both require substantial supporting evidence, but can be adapted in light of new information or discoveries. The relationship between the Foramen Magnum's position and bipedalism remains unclear, although this theory is widely accepted. Who knows what else we will find in the future, in an age where genetic analysis proves to be our greatest friend.